But the red's made out of bamboo, so I can't wait to get closer to see that.
Yeah.
You know, each day, despite the number of kilometres, the time in the car just ran away with us. The beauty of this country had us captivated.
So our guide explained a few things.
Yeah.
This Dalai Lama's not here.
No, he's not.
We haven't got our appointment. We have to wait. He's in India at the moment. So.
Interesting though, because it's two separate palaces, isn't it? A red one and a white one.
Yeah.
Different generations.
Different centuries.
Different
there's something like 10 centuries between the red palace and the white palace.
But the red's made out of bamboo, so I can't wait to get closer to see that.
Yeah. And
there's yogurt
the
on
walls. Every year there's a festival, and they come from all over Tibet with their yogurt and their milk.
Yeah.
And they cover the walls. They get the bladders and ropes. And they just plaster the walls with
It
yogurt.
comes off your hands actually if you scrape it.
Apparently it smells for the first week.
Can you imagine?
You can't smell it at the moment though.
No, we're going to take it easy though. There's 300 steps. I'm not rushing this. Not at this altitude.
All right. Well, we're going to enjoy this, and we'll see you later. So we're at the courtyard of the White Palace, and this is actually said to her to be, claimed to be, the highest palace in the world, at 3,750 meters. Maybe you could drop a little comment down below if you agree. Still beautiful, right?
Lying at about 1,000 metres to the east of Potala Palace, the Jokang Temple is the oldest and holiest architectural building in Lhasa, with a long history of 1,400 years. Being the spiritual centre and the ultimate pilgrimage destination for a Tibetan, it has attracted many pilgrims to worship. We were mesmerised by the history of this temple, and we'd highly recommend you have a guide. We were lucky to have Jenny with us. She shared with us such incredible detail of this magnificent building. We had loved Lhasa, including our evenings on the rooftop looking over the city at night. We set off to explore some more. Our first stop was meant to be the Yijiang River view, but as we drew closer, we could see that parking was going to be a little bit of a challenge. We found a lay-by further on, and we were not disappointed. Mike took out the drone, and again, the views just blew us away. We then carried on our journey. Do you know, the kilometres in a day were many, but time just ran away as we circumnavigated the beauty of China. The mountains, the lakes, the rivers, the roadways. Yamdrok Lake was a perfect spot for a picnic lunch with friends Joe, Pang, Richard and Jenny. We just sat back and admired the beauty before we hit the road again. Today, Drive China had shed many points of interest for us to stop at, and each day their itinerary gave us the opportunity to discover so much more of China. Now, the Kurila Glacier was certainly a great highlight, and we again were appreciative of the journey we were on. Do you know, we weren't the only ones exploring China, and it was so lovely to meet new people on our travels. As we travelled, there would be many a place where we would see the colourful Tibetan prayer flags. You could buy them at many of the locations and place your own. They certainly caught your eye as we travelled through the mountain passes. A sight of beauty you knew was going to be worth stopping for, and they are used to bless the surrounding countryside. Our last stop was at the Manla Reservoir. Now, pictures we'd seen online were of beautiful blue waters surrounded by majestic mountains. It was certainly going to be a point of interest, and we were really keen to see it. And wow, what a final stop of our day. Stunning! It looked like a picture postcard. Ah, do you know, it was another pinch me moment. The road then took us on to Shigatse. It was going to be our stop for the night. You know, each day, despite the number of kilometres, the time in the car just ran away with us. The beauty of this country had us captivated. Do you know there was many a silent moment in the car? Not because we had nothing to say to each other or we'd argued. We were just mesmerised by this stunning scenery. Do you know, China was really exceeding our expectations. We felt so privileged to be here. Next day, we were off to complete one of our bucket lists. Now, I'm sure you all have your bucket lists. Can you imagine what our next bucket list was going to be? The route, though, took us over the 5,000 kilometre marker of the G318 National Road from Nepal to Shanghai. If you remember, I told you about this road. It's like Route 66 in America. We got to the marker, we had a little photo, but we were keen to move on today. It was only going to be a quick stop. The kilometres we wanted to cover, we wanted to get to another place, our next destination. We were off to the base camp of Everest. Once tickets sorted, we were transported for about 45 minutes by a little bus to a platform area. Now we were ready to walk up and stand and take in the beauty. We had been told that cloud cover had been on Everest for the last week, and we might not actually get to see the summit. We caught glimpses of this magnificent mountain as we sat patiently, but still no summit. We were wrapped up warm with an excitement and an anticipation that we were going to be lucky. The next day we were on the road again, and we were off to find a lake. The roads again took us through a world of beauty. But when we arrived, we found no lake. But you know what? It was the perfect spot to stop with friends, have a picnic lunch, and just take in that view. The day ended with a stop to admire Jingang Mountain, which stands proudly at 6,444 metres high. Yet another few days of travelling beautiful China. How lucky were we? If you've loved the views as much as we did, please like and subscribe and join us next time when we start to head out of Tibet.